Brandon Aiyuk, according to stories, the Niners are just about fed up with Brandon Aiyuk and how he's acting at practice. So Brandon Aiyuk will never play in his career if he leaves San Francisco with a better offensive coach. Mike Tomlin is not a better coach at getting receivers open. He'll never have more moderate weather, may never have a better roster, may never win 72% of his games. He could go to worse weather, a tougher conference, a worse roster, shakier ownership, don't have the same head coach. Double team now on every possession. It's a choice. San Francisco would likely pay him $23 million a year. He wants $26.5. Davante Adams made that choice. From a Hall of Fame quarterback, continuity, winning every Sunday, to the Raiders. The opposite in all of them. Tyreek Hill, remember when he mattered in January and February? Hey, but he got the bag. But he's irrelevant when it matters now. He watches the games like all of us on television. San Francisco, in my opinion, is a top 2 or 3 place in the NFL for a receiver currently. Why? Well, the play-action game's always available because they always have a strong running game. So safeties can't cheat, linebackers can't cheat, always have a good running game. Also, you have a brilliant offensive coach who schemes people open. You ever watch the Rams and wonder, how the hell is Cooper Kupp so wide open? You ever watch the Niners and think, why is George Kittle so wide open? Is he a burner? That's what offensive coaches do. Defensive coaches don't. Also, let's be honest, the Niners, and Aiyuk is part of this, but last year the Steelers were 26th in the NFL. Now think about this. 26th in the National Football League in big plays. San Francisco was 1. Do you think that's all just roster, or do you think the coaches have something to do with it? Also, offensive coaches like McVay, Andy Reid, usually rebuild shaky offensive lines faster or running games faster. Has Tomlin figured out how to create a run game in the last 5 years? Because that's the rumor where he's going, Pittsburgh. Also, with Kyle Shanahan, you often are playing in games where you lead late. You may take some reps off. You're going to get big guaranteed money in both. But it is built for wide receivers. Scheming people open, brilliant head coach, not totally dependent on you, a big run game for play action. It is a choice. But hey, go make $5 million more and live in Cleveland and try to sell that $9 million mansion. Ask LeBron. In San Francisco, you can sell that $8 million house in about 15 minutes. That's all choices. I don't begrudge either. But is your agent telling you, and are the smart people around you telling you, you think it's a coincidence that Puka Nacua, as a 5th-round pick, is a home run with Sean McVay and the Rams, or George Kittle and Jennings for the Niners as 5th and 6th-round picks are incredibly formidable? It's what offensive coaches do. Offensive schemes do. Brandon Aiyuk can make $4 million elsewhere. Go get the bag. I think this is just about as good a place for a receiver to be. Yesterday, Scott Pioli, 5-time executive of the year in the NFL, talked about the Aiyuk dilemma for the Niners.
You have to look at your roster often and say, okay, how much are we going to put into this entire quarterback room, into this entire wide receiver room? And this becomes very complicated. I go way back to the early Patriot times. We had a different but similar situation like this with a wide receiver that we loved by the name of Deion Branch. And he was coming off of a season where he won the Super Bowl MVP. He still had time left on his contract, but he wanted to get paid. He wanted that second contract. We were in a place where we were paying some other people, different but similar, and it unfortunately didn't work out.
Oh, it did for the Patriots. They won multiple Super Bowls without Deion Branch. Deion, I think, went to maybe Seattle or ended up there, and it didn't work out the same. College football injects 25 wide receivers annually into the NFL, 5 or 6, 8 or 9 stars annually. The Niners will be fine. Better this year with Aiyuk, but probably fine by late this season or early next. I don't necessarily guarantee any success for Aiyuk. He could become Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill, a little richer but far less relevant when the games matter. So I saw The Athletic, a subscription model for sports writers. I subscribe to it and read it regularly. Mostly agree, today disagree. There's an article today. The headline is, "Can the Cowboys afford to pay Dak in the NFL's broken quarterback economy?" And the premise of the article is, Tua with the Miami Dolphins and Jordan Love sign their mega deals, and Mahomes ranks only 11th in annual salary. That, says the article, is the problem. I disagree. There's a lot of different ways to make money. Real estate, pensions, equity in a business, stock market. There's a lot of different ways. Same with quarterbacks. I think the more gifted quarterbacks who are really smart take a little less, get surrounded by better players, win more, and then you're Tom Brady, you retire, and a TV network gives you $30 million a year. Not because you're handsome, but because you won more. Go ask Drew Brees. He took the bag for a couple of years in New Orleans with Sean Payton and lost. Then he took much less, restructured his deal to help the roster, won a Super Bowl. He's now iconic and won't have to worry about money the rest of his life. Brady took cuts because he had confidence in himself and the organization to surround him with championship-level players. Travis Kelce and Mahomes have structured team-friendly deals. You think Taylor Swift is dating a Carolina Panther tight end? Mahomes makes over $45 million in Kansas City with endorsements. You think he makes that as a 500 quarterback or slightly better? Winning is the thing in football. In baseball, it's about lore and history. You can't listen to sports radio without a Koufax or a Mickey Mantle reference. Basketball's artistic, aesthetic, and optics. Bruh, football's about winning. Win games. Talk later. Kirk Cousins has made a decision, a choice to always take the most money. Okay. But he's not that relevant. Rich, but what's his post-football career if he wants one? Tua, with his injury history, I totally understand Tua saying, hey, I'm not Josh Allen physically. I'm not that big and strong. I'm taking the money. That I get. But I think for a Manning or a Breeze or a Brady or a Mahomes, I think the truly gifted guys know, I'll take a little less. I have a chance to win on an annual basis. A lot of cabbage. Again, there's a lot of different ways, and people make a lot of choices. You and your family may make choices. You may say, hey, I'm willing to move to Philadelphia. I don't necessarily want to live in a big city or buy one, but I just got double the salary. Many people don't want to live in New York, but they go there for the job. We all make choices, right? A little less quality of life, a little more income, or vice versa. Quarterbacks can do the same. Dak Prescott's got a quote when talking about his contract negotiations. He said, quote, I've said it before, I have an obligation to the NFL and other quarterbacks when it comes to getting paid. Tom Brady never talked about that. Tom Brady simply talked about winning Super Bowls. Dak's making a choice and talking about things I don't give a crap about. Brady talked about stuff I do, trophies. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Drew Brees, lots of quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Kelce, they get the bigger picture, the long game. It's not the only game to play, though. I get Tua taking the bag. Jalen Hurts, smaller quarterback. Saban moved off him, had his critics, second round. He's probably like, give me mine. I do not begrudge that. But the great quarterbacks who have the size, don't get hurt, have the confidence, generally, they don't have to be the highest paid quarterback. They'll get it later. They'll get it in shoes. They'll get it in endorsements. They'll get it in TV contracts because football's about winning. It's not about talking about baseball cards in the 60s, romanticizing Bob Gibson, or sweet jumper, nice crossover, W's. And the better roster a good quarterback has, the more he wins. So I don't think Mahomes is losing a second of sleep. Go look at his trophy room. It's choices.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.